Welcome to World Prism. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates. For centuries, Turkey has been the crossroads of civilizations, where East meets West. Its unique geography has made it a vital bridge between continents, cultures, and economies, shaping its destiny as a nation of both opportunity and challenge. When China unveiled its ambitious Belt and Road Initiative, aiming to revive the ancient Silk Road for the modern era, Ankara seemed like a natural partner. The prospect of connecting Asia and Europe through Turkish territory was enticing for both sides. Beijing offered a staggering €35 billion investment to overhaul Turkey's railways, promising to transform the country into a logistics powerhouse. The plan would make Turkey a crucial link in the global supply chain, connecting Chinese factories to European markets. Yet, despite the scale of the offer, Turkey walked away. Why would Ankara reject such a lucrative proposal? Turkish leaders feared dependency on China, wary of debt traps, and the loss of strategic autonomy. Memories of other countries struggling with unsustainable Chinese loans weighed heavily on their minds. They saw the deal as a potential Trojan horse, risking sovereignty for short-term gains. The government was determined not to let foreign influence undermine its independence or control over critical infrastructure. Turkey's ambitions as a regional power and its desire for diversified partnerships made a deep commitment to China politically risky. Ankara wanted to keep its options open, balancing relationships with Europe, the Middle East, and beyond. The government chose flexibility, signaling it would only accept deals on its own terms. By holding out, Turkey aimed to negotiate from a position of strength, not desperation. This pause set the stage for a more strategic, balanced phase of cooperation, one where Turkey could pursue its own interests while engaging with China on equal footing. Fast forward to November 2025, the world has changed. The global landscape is almost unrecognizable compared to just a few years ago, with new challenges and opportunities emerging at a rapid pace. Global maritime trade is in crisis, with instability in the Red Sea and Suez Canal sending shipping costs soaring. Shipping lanes that once seemed reliable are now fraught with delays, uncertainty, and skyrocketing insurance premiums. Businesses around the world are scrambling to adapt, as the flow of goods slows to a crawl. Land routes are now in the spotlight, as the northern corridor through Russia is tangled in sanctions and geopolitics. With diplomatic tensions rising, many companies are forced to reconsider their reliance on these northern pathways, which are now unpredictable and risky. Turkey's position at the crossroads of Europe and Asia suddenly became invaluable. The country's unique geography, bridging two continents, has transformed it from a regional player into a central figure in global logistics. The Middle Corridor, once a policy forum topic, is now a commercial necessity. What was once discussed in think tanks and conferences is now being implemented on the ground as companies and governments rush to find alternatives. Turkish leaders saw a chance to become an indispensable logistics and energy hub. They invested heavily in infrastructure, modernizing railways, highways, and ports to handle the surge in demand. The risks of partnering with China now seemed outweighed by the urgent need for new trade routes. Economic pragmatism took precedence, as both sides recognized the mutual benefits of cooperation in this new era. Turkey returned to the table, this time with leverage, as the gatekeeper to a vital corridor. Negotiators understood the power of their position and used it to secure better terms and greater influence. A new chapter in Sino-Turkish relations began, built on mutual necessity. The world watched as these two nations forged a partnership that could reshape the future of Eurasian trade. The Middle Corridor is a modern Silk Road, a bold new artery of trade stretching thousands of kilometers from the industrial heartlands of China, through the vast steppes and deserts of Central Asia, and across the Caspian Sea. This route is not just a line on a map, it's a living, breathing network, connecting cultures, economies, and people in ways that echo the ancient Silk Road, but with 21st century speed and ambition. From the shores of the Caspian, the corridor enters the Caucasus, weaving through Georgia and into Turkey, then onward to the bustling markets and industries of Europe. Each border crossed is a gateway, opening new opportunities for trade and cooperation. Its main advantage is clear: it bypasses both Russia and volatile maritime choke points like the Suez Canal, offering a vital alternative for global supply chains. In a world where shipping lanes can be blocked or disrupted, the Middle Corridor offers reliability and resilience. Shipping via the Middle Corridor is not only cheaper, by up to $1,000 per container, but also significantly faster, cutting delivery times to as little as 25 days. For businesses, this means less capital tied up in transit and more flexibility to respond to market demands. In a world of just-in-time manufacturing, where every hour counts, speed is everything. The Middle Corridor is helping companies keep shelves stocked and factories running, even as global logistics face unprecedented challenges. The corridor's appeal is as much geopolitical as economic. It's a bridge between East and West, fostering new alliances and partnerships and giving countries along its path a greater say in the future of global trade. Western nations see it as a way to reduce reliance on Russian and Iranian routes, and are quietly supporting its development through investment, technology, and diplomatic backing. For Turkey, anchoring the Middle Corridor means billions in transit fees and investment, transforming cities like Istanbul and Ankara into global logistics hubs. New infrastructure is rising and Turkish ports and railways are busier than ever before. This is Turkey's ticket to a central role in the global economy, positioning it as a crossroads for commerce, innovation, and diplomacy. The corridor elevates Turkey's diplomatic standing, making it indispensable to China, Central Asia, and Europe. As new agreements are signed and partnerships forged, Turkey's influence continues to grow. It's a generational opportunity, one Turkey has long aspired to seize. The echoes of the ancient Silk Road are being heard again, but this time, with high-speed trains and digital logistics. The Middle Corridor is no longer a dream, it's becoming reality, reshaping the map of Eurasian trade, and setting the stage for a new era of connectivity and prosperity. China, undeterred by Turkey's initial rejection, returned with a smarter, bigger offer, $60 billion to upgrade Turkey's railways. This time, the plan included a high-speed Istanbul-Ankara line and direct partnerships with Turkish firms. In June 2025, Turkish logistics giant Pacific Eurasia Logistic inked a deal with China Railway, launching direct cargo trains from China to Europe. The initiative was framed as a joint venture, empowering Turkish businesses and integrating them into the value chain. Chinese manufacturers like CRRC are now investing in Turkish factories, creating jobs and local production. By mid-2024, Chinese investment had reached over 1,300 Turkish companies. The new model is about collaboration, not control, building a powerful ecosystem of mutual interest. China is now seen as a partner in Turkey's rise as a Eurasian logistics powerhouse. While Turkey's Middle Corridor grabs headlines, China is also building a rival route through Iran. In May 2025, the China-Iran rail corridor launched, slashing transit times and deepening Beijing-Tehran ties. This route bypasses Western-controlled seas, giving China secure access to Middle Eastern markets and energy. At first glance, it seems to compete with Turkey's corridor, but the reality is more complex. Regional players, including Turkey, are working toward an interconnected rail network. In May 2025, a summit in Tehran brought together China, Iran, Turkey, and Central Asian states to discuss seamless transcontinental rail. Turkey's participation signals a strategy of integration, not rivalry. Multiple corridors mean flexibility, resilience, and a central role for Turkey in all major regional projects. Turkey's railway gamble promises huge rewards, but comes with real risks. If successful, Turkey becomes the indispensable bridge between East and West, fueling growth and modernizing infrastructure. Transit fees and connectivity could transform the economy, but deep reliance on Chinese investment raises concerns about sovereignty and debt. Turkey must balance its NATO commitments and European ties with its new partnership with China. Western allies are watching warily, wary of China's growing influence in a key NATO country. The corridor's success also depends on stability across Central Asia and the Caucasus, regions prone to volatility. Turkey is betting on more than itself, it's betting on the stability of Eurasia. The stakes are high. Success means centrality in the new global order. Failure could mean debt and diminished autonomy. Eurasia's new railways are redrawing the world's economic and political map. These corridors mark a shift from Western-dominated maritime trade to land-based networks led by China, Turkey, and others. For Turkey, this is a chance to reclaim its historic centrality, not as Europe's periphery, but as a global hub. As a key node, Turkey's diplomatic influence will grow, allowing it to mediate between East and West. The rise of the Middle Corridor challenges Western strategies of sanctions and isolation. Western companies now face direct competition with China for influence in Central Asia and the Caucasus. Turkey's embrace of Chinese rail investment signals a tectonic shift in global power. The Asian century is dawning and Turkey stands at its western gate.